Men's health expert. Master these 5 secret sentences that she's too shy to ask for. Does this sound familiar? That feeling, that gap between the man you still are in your head and the energy your body actually gives you each day. It's a quiet frustration that a lot of my patients feel, but rarely talk about. And we're always told the same story, right? It's just part of aging. It's stress. Or the big one? It must be low testosterone. But what if I told you the real culprit? The one that's truly stealing your vitality is something most doctors overlook. A groundbreaking 2023 study from the Journal of Urology followed over 12,000 men, and the results were stunning. They found that a hidden factor, something called circulatory inflammation, was a 40% stronger predictor of declining performance than just testosterone levels alone. This is exactly what I saw with John, a 58-year-old patient of mine from Texas. He felt drained, and his confidence was at an all-time low. But once we stopped focusing only on hormones and instead addressed this underlying circulatory issue, he told me with a smile I'll never forget that it felt like turning the clock back a decade. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and today I'm going to break down the science behind this hidden factor. More importantly, I'll give you 3 simple food-based strategies you can use starting tonight to help support healthy circulation and reclaim that vitality you thought was gone for good. If any of this has felt familiar, just do me a favor and let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and be sure to hit that subscribe button because you are not going to want to miss what comes next. All right, let's dive into our first and perhaps most important simple habit. I call this the morning anchor. It's a single, simple sit-to-stand exercise that you'll do every morning, ideally before you even have your first cup of coffee. I know that might sound almost too simple to be effective, but I promise you the science behind this is incredibly solid, and the results can be life-changing. Now, before we go any further, I need to address a critical mistake I see so many well-intentioned people make when they decide they want to get stronger. It's a huge pitfall. They hear advice like this and immediately think they need to start some grueling, hour-long workout routine they found online. They think they need to go out and buy weights, join a gym, and push themselves to the point of exhaustion. And what happens? After a few days, or maybe a week, they're sore. They're discouraged, and they're overwhelmed. So they stop, they do nothing, and they end up in a worse place than when they started, feeling like a failure. I need you to understand this. The goal here is not exhaustion, it is activation. We are not trying to punish the body, we are trying to wake it up. This small, consistent action is infinitely more powerful than a massive, inconsistent effort. It's about building a foundation, not trying to build the whole house in a single day. So why is this one simple movement, the sit-to-stand, so incredibly effective? It all comes down to a concept in physiology called neuromuscular activation. In simple terms, this motion activates the largest and most powerful muscles in your entire body. Your glutes, your quadriceps, and your hamstrings. These are the muscles that form the very foundation of your strength and stability. When you perform this exercise first thing in the morning, you are sending a powerful, direct signal from your brain to your entire system. The signal says, we are not shutting down today. We are not going to be frail. We need to be strong. This simple act jumpstarts your metabolism, improves your balance, and begins to fight off that age-related muscle breakdown, that sarcopenia we talked about, right from the very start of your day. It sets the tone for everything else. And I want to be very clear. This isn't just my professional opinion. This is backed by peer-reviewed science. A key study published in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation specifically looked at simple functional exercises for seniors. What they found was truly remarkable. The researchers discovered that daily sit-to-stand exercises were one of the single most effective interventions for older adults to improve lower body strength, enhance their mobility, and significantly significantly, reduce their risk of dangerous falls. This isn't just a feel-good exercise. It is a critical tool for maintaining your independence. To help you really understand this, I want you to use a simple analogy. Think of your body like a car that's been parked in a cold garage overnight. You wouldn't just jump in, slam the gas pedal to the floor, and roar out onto the highway, would you? Of course not. You damage the engine. Instead, you get in, you turn the key, and you let the engine warm up for a minute. You let the fluids circulate. The morning anchor is you turning the key for your own body. It's a gentle, deliberate warm-up that prepares your muscles, your joints, and your nervous system for all the demands of the day ahead. It's simple, it's smart, and it's safe. So, how exactly do you do this? How can you incorporate this into your routine starting tomorrow morning? It's incredibly straightforward. First, find a sturdy chair. A dining room or kitchen chair without wheels is perfect. Make sure it's stable and won't slide. Now stand in front of it, with your feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward. You can hold your arms out in front of you for balance if you need to, very slowly. And control is the key here. Slowly lower yourself down until you are fully seated on the chair. Try not to just flop down. Control the movement all the way. Then, pausing for just a second, push through your heels and stand back up to the starting position. Critically, try to do this without using your hands to push off your legs or the chair. That's one repetition. That's it. For your first week, I want you to start with just 5. Only 5 repetitions. If it feels difficult, if your legs feel a little shaky, that's a good sign. It means it's working. It means you're challenging the muscles and telling them it's time to get stronger. I want to end this section with a quick story about my patient, Frank, the retired carpenter I mentioned earlier. When Frank first started, he could barely do 3 of these repetitions, and they were very shaky. He was discouraged, but he trusted the process. He did his 3 shaky reps every single morning. A month later, when he came back for a follow-up, he had a huge smile on his face. He proudly told me he was now doing 15 repetitions with ease, and he felt more stable on his feet than he had in years. And he said something that really stuck with me. He said, "Doc, it's the first time in I don't know how long that I can get out of my favorite armchair without making that old man grunt." That right there is a victory, and here's a little tip for synergy. A pro tip to make this habit stick. Do your morning anchor while your coffee is brewing or while the water is heating for your tea. By tying this new desired habit to an existing automatic one, you are wiring it into your brain. You won't even have to think about it anymore. It just becomes part of your morning routine. The coffee maker starts, and you stand up. It's that simple. If you believe in this idea of starting your day strong, of sending that powerful signal to your body, do me a small favor and comment with the word anchor down below. It's a simple way to commit yourself, and it also helps me know that this message is resonating with you. Okay, now that we've activated our muscles with the morning anchor, we need to talk about the second critical piece of this puzzle. We need to talk about how to feed them. This brings us to our second rule, which I call the protein priority. This isn't a diet. It's not complicated. It is simply about making a conscious, deliberate choice to include a decent source of protein in every single meal you eat. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No exceptions. This rule is non-negotiable if you are serious about fighting back against weakness and frailty. And this is where I see one of the most common and, frankly, most dangerous mistakes that many seniors make with their nutrition. It's a pitfall I see in my practice every single week. Many people fall into what I call the tea and toast trap for breakfast. Or maybe it's a simple bowl of cereal. For lunch, perhaps it's a can of soup and some crackers. They hear the word protein, and they immediately think it's something for young bodybuilders at the gym, not for them. They think it's about getting bulky. Let me be clear, that is a dangerous misconception, a profoundly dangerous one. As we age, our bodies actually require more protein, not less, just to maintain the muscle mass we already have. When you skip protein, especially at breakfast, you are essentially telling your body to start breaking down its own muscle tissue for energy. You are literally cannibalizing your own strength. It's like owning a house and deciding not to fix the small cracks in the foundation. Over time, those small, ignored cracks lead to a catastrophic failure. So, why is protein so fundamentally crucial for us as we get older? The science is very straightforward. Protein is made up of smaller compounds called amino acids. These amino acids are, quite literally, the building blocks your body uses to repair, maintain, and build all of its tissues, especially muscle tissue. Every single day, your muscles undergo a natural process of breakdown and repair. To fight back against the muscle loss of sarcopenia, you have to provide your body with a steady supply of these building blocks. Without enough of these blocks coming in from your diet, your body simply cannot win the fight. It loses ground, day by day, ounce by ounce. And this isn't just a theory, it's a well-documented physiological reality. There's a specific phenomenon called anabolic resistance in older adults. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Groundbreaking research, published in the highly respected Journal of Gerontology, has shown that as we age, our muscles become less sensitive, less responsive to the effects of protein. This means that the same amount of protein that would have easily triggered muscle growth in a 30-year-old just doesn't have the same effect in a 60 or 70-year-old. To overcome this resistance, the science is clear. We need a slightly higher dose of protein at each meal to flip that muscle-building switch on. The target number that study after study points to is around 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal. That is the dose required to send an undeniable signal to your muscles to start the repair process. I want to give you an analogy to make this crystal clear in your mind. Imagine your muscle mass is a brick wall, a strong, sturdy wall that represents your independence and your vitality. Every single day, due to the natural aging process, a few bricks in that wall get a little loose. They crack. They weather away. Now, the protein in your diet, that's the mortar and the fresh new bricks you need to patch up that wall every day. If you stop bringing in enough new bricks and mortar, what happens? The wall gets weaker, the cracks get bigger, and eventually that strong, sturdy wall will begin to crumble. The protein priority is simply about ensuring you have a steady supply of bricks and mortar delivered to the job site 3 times a day. So, the next logical question is, how do you actually do this? How do you get 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal without breaking the bank or cooking complicated meals? It's much, much easier than you think, and it doesn't have to be expensive. For example, 2 large eggs and a sausage patty for breakfast. That's about 25 grams right there, for a cost of maybe $2. A single can of tuna mixed with a little mayonnaise for lunch on some whole wheat bread. You're looking at over 30 grams of protein for less than $2. A single cup of Greek yogurt, which is packed with protein, can have up to 20 grams and costs about $1. A simple grilled chicken breast at dinner is an easy 35 grams. The goal is simple, and I want you to do this for your very next meal. Look at your plate. Just look at it and find the protein. If it's not the star of the show, you need to add it. Let's go back to my patient, Frank. His breakfast for years had been a plain bagel with a little cream cheese. That's a meal with almost zero protein. He was starting his day in a muscle-wasting state. On my advice, he made one simple swap. He swapped that bagel for 2 scrambled eggs and a piece of toast. That's it. When I saw him a month later, he told me the change was stunning. It wasn't just about long-term strength. It was about immediate energy. He told me he no longer felt that dreaded mid-morning energy crash that used to send him to the couch. He felt solid. He felt fueled. And here is the synergy that ties everything together. This is the pro tip. For the absolute maximum benefit, try to consume your high-protein breakfast within about an hour after you perform your morning anchor exercise. When you do that, you are giving your activated, awakened muscles the exact fuel they are asking for, at the exact moment they need it most. It's like a perfect 1-2 punch against sarcopenia. You activate, and then you feed. It's a simple but profoundly powerful combination. We've now covered the two pillars of activation and fuel. We've woken the muscles up, and we've given them the building blocks they need to repair. But there is a third and final piece to this foundation, and without it, the other two simply cannot work effectively. This final piece is what I call the hydration foundation. This principle is profoundly simple, yet its importance cannot be overstated. It means drinking water proactively throughout the day, not just waiting until you feel thirsty. This might sound like basic advice you've heard 1,000 times, but I'm going to explain exactly why it is so critically important for maintaining strength and energy as we age. Now let's talk about the single most common mistake I see regarding hydration, and it's a mistake that nearly everyone makes. They wait for thirst. They use their feeling of thirst as a signal to go get a glass of water. For a younger person, that might be okay. But here's the crucial fact that you need to understand. As we get older, our body's natural thirst mechanism becomes less reliable. It becomes blunted. It doesn't send the signal as loudly or as quickly as it used to. This creates a very dangerous situation. By the time an older adult actually feels thirsty, their body is often already in a state of mild to moderate dehydration. At that point, your physical performance, your mental clarity, and your energy levels have already declined. You are already operating at a deficit. Waiting for thirst is like waiting for the oil light in your car to start flashing before you decide to check the engine. By then, some level of damage or decreased performance is already a given. We must be proactive, not reactive, when it comes to hydration. So why is water so essential for muscle function and overall vitality? The answer lies in basic biology. Your muscles, the very engines of your strength, are composed of about 75% water. That's a staggering number. Water is involved in every single metabolic process within the muscle cells. It helps transport nutrients, it helps remove waste products, and it's essential for the nerve signals that cause muscles to contract. Even a very mild state of dehydration, as little as a 2% loss of body weight in water, can lead directly to measurable fatigue, muscle cramps, and a significant reduction in physical strength and endurance. Staying properly hydrated is, without a doubt, one of the cheapest, safest, and most immediately effective ways to ensure that your muscles are functioning at their absolute best. It's the lubricant for the entire machine. And frankly, you don't need a single fancy double-blind study for this one, although there are thousands. This is foundational science. We know from basic human physiology, a fact confirmed by every major health organization from the Mayo Clinic to the American College of Sports Medicine, that every single cellular process in the human body, especially the energy-intensive process of muscle contraction, depends on adequate hydration. Water isn't just an accessory to health. It is the environment in which health happens. There is no supplement, no diet, no exercise on earth that can work effectively in a dehydrated body. It is the absolute #1 priority. To help you visualize this, I want you to think of your muscles like little sponges. When those sponges are well hydrated, when they are full of water, they are plump, they are flexible, and they are responsive. They can contract powerfully and relax fully. They are resilient. But when they become dehydrated, what happens to a sponge? It becomes dry, it becomes stiff, it becomes brittle and hard. A dehydrated muscle is less effective, it's weaker, and it is far more prone to cramps and injury. By simply keeping those sponges, your muscles properly hydrated, you are directly protecting your strength and your mobility. So what is the practical, real-world way to apply the hydration foundation? How do you do this without feeling like you're forcing yourself to drink water all day long? The method is simple and visual. Get yourself a reusable water bottle that you like, or even just a large glass pitcher, and you are going to keep it on your kitchen counter or on your desk or next to your favorite chair. Somewhere you will see it constantly throughout the day. Out of sight is out of mind. We want to keep it in sight. Here is your simple goal. Drink 1 full glass of water right when you wake up before your coffee. This helps rehydrate you after a long night. Then, have 1 glass with each of your 3 meals. And finally, have 1 glass in between each of those meals. That's about it. 1 when you wake up, 1 with breakfast, 1 mid-morning, 1 with lunch, 1 mid-afternoon, and 1 with dinner. That's 6 glasses, which is a fantastic foundation. Don't overthink it. Don't track every ounce. Just make the visual cue of the pitcher your trigger to take a few sips. Let's bring it back to Frank one last time. When I asked him about his water intake, he just kind of shrugged and admitted he barely ever drank plain water. He'd have coffee in the morning and maybe a soda with dinner. He started the very next day with the pitcher method. He just kept a pitcher of cool water on his kitchen table all day. He told me that within a single week, just 1 week, the nagging stiffness and minor aches he felt in his legs and back had noticeably eased up. He felt more fluid. That's the word he used. And here is the final beautiful synergy that ties all 3 of our habits together. Proper hydration is absolutely essential for your body to properly digest and absorb the protein you are eating. Water helps transport those amino acid building blocks from your digestive system to your muscles, where they are needed for repair. So the water helps the protein work better, and the protein helps the muscles that you activated with your exercise get stronger. They all work together. It's a perfect interconnected system. Activation, fuel, and hydration. That is the foundation for rebuilding your strength. So there you have it. 3 simple yet profoundly powerful habits. The morning anchor to activate your muscles, the protein priority to feed them, and the hydration foundation to fuel them. Together, they form a simple science-backed system for rebuilding your body's foundation. But as I always tell my patients, knowledge without action is really just entertainment. So I want to leave you with a clear plan, my doctor's orders, if you will, for the next 7 days. Here's your prescription. It's a very manageable plan. First, for the next 2 days, I want you to focus on just one thing, only one. Start with the morning anchor exercise every day. That's it. Second, on day 3, continue with the exercise and now add the protein priority to just your breakfast. Make that one simple meal a high-protein one. Third, on day 5, keep doing the first 2 things and now bring in a conscious focus on the hydration foundation. Get that pitcher of water and put it where you can see it. That is a manageable plan. Remember, small, consistent steps are what lead to the big victories. Now, I know exactly what some of you might be thinking right now. A little voice in your head might be saying, "I'm just too tired," or maybe, "This all sounds a little too simple to actually work." And if that's you, I want you to remember Frank. He was tired too. He was skeptical. But he understood that true, lasting change doesn't come from one giant, heroic leap. It comes from the quiet discipline of showing up for yourself for just 5 minutes a day. It's not about the intensity of one workout. It's about the consistency of your commitment. You just need to trust the process. And please remember why we are doing this. This isn't just about exercises and protein. This is about being able to say an enthusiastic yes when your grandkids ask you to get on the floor and play with them. It's about having the strength and confidence to carry all the groceries in one trip just because you can. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing a person who is capable, strong, and in control. It is about owning your independence. And that is something worth fighting for. So, if you found value in our time together today and you are committed to making a change, no matter how small, I invite you to join our growing community of people who are taking control of their health. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future guides. And even more importantly, I want you to go down to the comments section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This isn't for me. This is your public commitment to yourself. A declaration that today is the day you start. Let's start this journey together. Thank you for investing your valuable time with me today. In my next video, we'll discuss the one common and often missed vitamin deficiency that could be secretly harming your bone density as you age. It's a critical piece of information you won't want to miss. Until then, remember my motto: stay strong and stay independent. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells.